Hi, it's Tina Grant from FitFlow Yoga and Fitness. Today we're working on fitness. So I am recording this video for those of you that are just starting out in weights or have been a long time since you have been lifting free weights. We're going to go through all of the basic compound exercises. I actually shouldn't say all. We're going to go through some basic compound exercises. A compound exercise is one that you're using more than one muscle group. So if you're just starting out, it's always better to do exercises that your whole body is helping you do. Things that we do in functional life, basically, when you're trying to pull something or push something or pick something up. These are all compound exercises. So, equipment that you will need. You're going to start out with hopefully 3 sets of dumbbells. I mean, you'll make do with what you have. But eventually 3 sets of dumbbells is really important because we have small muscles that need small dumbbells or lighter dumbbells. We have medium-sized muscles that need medium-sized dumbbells. And we have large muscles that need heavier dumbbells. So I always recommend starting with maybe a 5 for the little tiny muscle groups, or if you have an injury, even lighter, 3. An 8 I would call medium. An 8 if you have injuries and things you're worried. 6 to 8 is a medium for a beginner. And 10 to 12 is the heavy. And of course that weight will progress. So if you're looking into buying equipment now for your home workout, it would be a really good idea, probably more economic, if you bought like a rack, some kind of variety of weights. It might go from 35 pounds to 15. That would pretty much take care of your weights for 6 months, a year, maybe forever, who knows. But we will always try and increase as we get stronger and our body adapts to things. I also use loops. What I call a loop is a fitness loop. It's a closed loop like so. So they're resistance. You can buy them online. You can buy them in a lot of drugstores and things like that. Usually they will come in a set of 3 as well. Light, medium, heavy. That's a really good idea to have light, medium, heavy, because for the same reasons I mentioned before. Because I teach yoga, of course I have yoga blocks. Sometimes we'll use a yoga block. They're a really fantastic tool for like working in our thighs, maybe sometimes standing on. And that's probably all you need really right away. So are you ready? We're going to start together. We're going to get fit, one day at a time. Strong, not skinny. Let's go. Let's start by rolling out our joints. Always want to warm up all the joints. Joint warm-up releases synovial fluid, which makes the joints more juicy and less stiff. So also we're going to work a lot on balance. Now if you're new to it, you can have your hand on a chair or wall. Otherwise, you can bring your arms out or just down or roll. You can roll your wrists if you're pretty dexterous, rolling the wrist and the ankle at the same time, both directions. So we're going to work a lot on balance because we're going to be practicing together functional fitness, functional strength, especially things for us women, perimenopause, postmenopausal women. Let's just swing our arms while I talk. So we're going to be working on getting more muscle tone, more muscle density. That's the firmness. We're going to be working on increasing our range of motion in our joints. We're going to be working on some impact for bone density. And we're, of course, always in my classes, we work on pelvic floor health. So all of these things combined. All right, for a little warm up in the legs, we're just going to do some squats here. Basic squats. Your feet should be about somewhere between hip width, or if your balance is not fantastic yet, maybe shoulder distance apart or somewhere in between the two. So we're just swinging our arms and we're starting to get warm in the legs. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Release. We're going to just start to do step outs. So it's always really important that you have awareness of whatever it is on the floor around you. We're going to step out to one side and back in, step out to the other side and back in. You're going to try your best to let your body weight fall onto that foot. So you have to use the muscles in your hips to push yourself back up. Let's do 2 more and 1 more. And then we're going to do cat and cow. So just a nice wide open stance, toes open, knees open, hands on your knees just to rest your torso there. And we're going to do cat and cow like we do in yoga. So we'll be tipping the pelvis up with the tail sticking right up, and then scooping the tail under and pulling the belly in tight. Gonna inhale to tip. We're gonna exhale to tuck. And you wanna do that whatever range of motion feels good on your back. So if your low back is tight, you might start with a very small little movement until your muscles get warmer. You can also take this time to use your pelvic floor. So our pelvic floor contracts on the exhale. So let's take an inhale as we tip. And on the exhale, we're going to scoop our tail and pull up and lift up through the belly and pelvic floor. Inhale. Talking about a lot about pelvic floor as time goes. Exhale. Just for this first class, understanding what the pelvic floor does, supports our internal organs. And it contracts and lifts kind of like a dome. And that contracting and lifting phase is done on the exhale breath. So let's do one more exhale here. Scoop it under and lift up like you have to go pee, but there's no bathroom. And then release. From this position, we can start to do little squats. Toes are out and knees are out. Can add the arms, kind of like a static jumping jack. Now we're doing all of this just to get all the joints warm and ready for movement. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to heel toes, good for the ankles to move in and out like that. And we'll just start to lift our knee. So as soon as you start lifting your knee, it's really great to start to work on engaging the abdominal muscles. So you're a strong core, and so you're not leaning back too much. You can add a bit of a twist here. So we're going to go through all the range of motion in the spine here. Rotation, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll do lateral flexion, sweep your arms up. If it hurts you to have both your arms, you can have one hand on your hip and just switch. So you can do one arm at a time or both arms. And we're just moving through this lateral bend of the spine a couple times. One more each side. All right. And then just release. You're going to roll your shoulder blades in big circles. So one of the things you need to know is that the classes, I'm recording and I'm just talking to the camera, but all of my classes I'm actually teaching live students, all women aged from about 45 to 75. And so we'll be talking a lot about things that are issues for women going through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. So you will hear me saying people's names. Keep moving, please. I'm talking. You'll hear me saying people's names because I'm actually looking at a live class that I'm teaching. Why is that a good thing for you? It's a good thing for you because I will be correcting real people, real time, real bodies, normal people, not super fit, just regular people like you. So it will be beneficial to you to hear me mentioning cues to others, like, make sure your knee is straight, watch out that you're bending too far, and that will be really helpful to you. So that's one of the great things about live classes on Zoom. All right, are you ready to start? We're going to start with a basic squat. All right, we were just doing them. We're going to do a couple more without weight, and then we're going to pick up a little dumbbell and we're going to start. So a squat, feet are pelvis width apart, or like I mentioned, it could be a little wider if your balance is a bit iffy. And we're just going to sit back in a squat. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to do a squat, but oftentimes when I'm in the gym, my office is in the middle of a fitness center, I see beginners in squats kind of being a little bit afraid of falling back. So what do? They kind of fall forward instead, and this isn't good for your knee. So you can imagine that there's a chair behind you and you're just kind of reaching your bum toward the chair. If you're a little bit worried about falling, or a lot of it, worried about falling, you can have a chair behind you when you do squats, and you kind of just hover your butt over top of the chair. Let's do 2 more. These are a big compound exercise. Your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves are all working to do that movement. So you're ready to try it with a weight? So you're going to pick up something you feel comfortable with. If this is your first class or you haven't lifted weights in years, then just pick up something just to practice. All right, weights are just going to hang. Arms are going to do nothing. It's actually good for your grip strength to hold the weight. We're just going to do a squat. All right, eyes up, eyes forward, and just sit back like you're going to sit down in a chair and then push yourself back up. So we're not going to be looking down at the floor as we come down. We're going to continue to look forward at me. You're going to sit back and push back up. How's the breath go? Inhale here as you come down. Exhale, push up. Inhale as you squat. Exhale, push up. What can we be doing here to make it harder? Inhale, we could be squeezing our butt right here. Squeeze your glutes. Yeah. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze your glutes. We can also be using the pelvic floor. Inhale down. Exhale, squeeze your glutes and lift your pelvic floor. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. So remember, we're not folding down. You shouldn't be looking at the floor. Continue to look forward. Let's do 1 more. Sitting back like you're going to sit in a chair and push back through the heels. That's it. That's your first set of squats. All right, so we're going to go from leg, lower body to upper body, just so your legs can rest. And we're going to do a basic shoulder press. So for many of us who've had shoulder injuries, you're going to be using a very light weight. We're just going to go through the range of motion, okay? So pick up something that you're comfortable with. If you have a shoulder injury and this movement is painful to you, just pushing your weight over your head, then you will limit whatever range does not hurt, okay? We can all start wherever it is that we are. Otherwise, you're going to rack up, what we call rack up, put that weight up here just above your shoulders. You're also thinking about your stance when you're standing. You're going to have a soft knee, and your tailbone is going to be drawn down so you're not arching your back. Okay, this is really important for the back. Tail down, you have to engage your core. Soft knees so you're not locked out on your knees. Take a breath first. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale, push. Inhale. Exhale, push. Important that you're exhaling on the push, especially if you have blood pressure issues, because we don't want to have our weight pushed up over our head and hold our breath. So exhale on exertion in weight training. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. You'll know it's too heavy because you might be arching your back. If you don't feel this right now, it's probably too light, and that's okay for this first time. This particular recording you can do again and again until you feel comfortable with the movements, and then we'll add on. 1 more time, pushing over the head, push, and release. All right, good job. All right, we're gonna go to a basic lunge. So we're only gonna do these 2 leg work compound exercises today. A lunge is really good for agility and for power. You know, being able to step and pick something up and get back to where you started from. So we'll do it without weight. You can use your hands on your hips. Please make sure that you have a good amount of space around you. And then let's go. We're gonna step forward and push back. I'll step back a bit here. Step forward and push back. When you're pushing, step forward and push back, you're focusing a lot on pushing through your heel. This is going to activate the back of your body, so you're not feeling that in your knee, you're feeling it in your leg, and hopefully a little bit in your bum, or a lot. Step and push. So the movement, the work is in the push. Step and push. If you're a beginner and you're not stepping too far, if you're stepping a very small amount, don't go down so far. So you either have to be stepping a lot to get a big bend, or if you're stepping a little bit, just a small bend. Let's do 2 more on each side. Step and push, and step and push. 1 more time. Step and push. Push off your heel and push. The whole time, we're going to get used to Tina talking about engage your core. What does engage your core mean? Keep moving. I'm going to talk to you while you move. We don't want to do an exercise and then stop dead because it's not good for circulation. Your blood's pooling down in your feet. We just want to keep moving. Moving helps the calf muscles pump blood back up to your brain. So we want to engage the core. That means it's a bracing, a tightening. It's not a sucking or hollowing, okay? It's a bracing, like somebody's going to poke their finger into your belly, and you kind of brace against that. So we'll practice that a lot in the classes too. Okay. Going to do a chest press. So we will be getting down on your mat. You can have any kind of mat, or if you're on a carpeted floor, you probably won't need it. Just want to show you from the standing position, please. If you want to join me and put your arms up. A chest press is when your arms are in this sort of 90-degree, wrists right in line with your shoulders, elbows in line with your shoulders. Okay, sorry, wrists in line with your elbows, elbows in line with your shoulders. So you have a 90-degree bend. Holding onto the weights, we'll be laying on the floor. And it's a push and a back to that 90-degree goalpost. Push, 90-degree. Okay? So pick up something light just for today if you're brand new. If you're not brand new, pick up the medium weight. Okay? And we are also going to learn how to handle the weights. You know, as a personal trainer for 25 years, and one of the ways I notice people injure themselves is how they move around with weights. So if you're challenged getting up and down on the floor, make sure you have a chair so you can hold on to it. And we're going to be coming down onto the floor. If you want to just have a look at me before you do, but please, we always take our weights and we put our weights on our hips. We don't want to pick the weights up when you're lying down on the floor. You could injure your shoulder. So we put the weights on our hips and then we use our core muscles to lower down. The first position is right over your shoulders. So the hands are over the shoulders, back is flat, feet are on the floor. We're going to inhale as we drop the weights to that 90-degree goalpost and exhale as we push. All right, you ready? Come on down. Bring the weights with you. And then the start position is getting them right over the shoulders. Let's see if we can do 10 or 12. Lower the weight, push the weight. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You can use your core here. Inhale, tighten up your abs as you exhale. Inhale, oh, there's so much to learn. Exhale, inhale. Exhale. I'm always excited to teach everything all at once, so if it's a bit overwhelming for you, all the stuff I'm talking about, just ignore me. If you continue to practice with me or train with me, it's all going to become very clear. I'm going to be really working on you getting functionally strong and a very safe way, using your core and pelvic floor. Let's do one more. And then to come out of it, same thing. Please put the weights on your pelvis first. The best way to get rid of a weight is to roll to your side with your arms very close and just put the weights down. And then you can from your side and get yourself back up. All right, so what I'm saying is I don't want you to lay down on the floor and then throw the weight out like that, because it puts your shoulder in a very vulnerable position. All right, if you have a chair and you need that to get up, do that, otherwise we're coming up. We're going to do a row. So it is comfortable. If you do have a chair, by the way, you could use the chair for your hand. If you're lucky to have flat end dumbbells that are flat on the ends, you could also use a dumbbell. We're going to do a row, so this is a big back exercise where you're pulling almost like a lawnmower, okay? If this is not all new to you, this is just a review for form, all right? So you can either have your hand on a chair or a table, or you can have your hand on a dumbbell. We're going to be doing this from a lunge. That means you're going to step your foot way back, and you're going to have your hand either on the chair or on the dumbbell. You're going to square off your shoulders. Watch me first, please, if you don't know it. Arm is going to hang, but we're not going to let the shoulder blades fall wide open like that. Back is neutral, shoulder blades are together, and we're just going to pull and release, not all the way. We're going to release until our back is still strong. All right, you see the difference? Okay, pick up your weight, hand on your chair or your dumbbell. Take a big breath in first, exhale, pull. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull. And while we're doing this, you keep going while I talk, please. You're aware that your core muscles, your stomach muscles, are not completely relaxed. So cinch in your waist a little bit. This is going to help protect your back. Are you still pulling? Let's do 3, 2, 1, and release. Stand up and switch. So you can again use a chair, use the dumbbells. I'm lucky enough to have flat end dumbbells. If your dumbbells are rocky, you're not going to use them. You're going to put your hand on something stable, please. Let's switch sides. Step the other leg back now. Get into that position where you're looking straight down. Inhale first, exhale, pull. And pull. Keep your core engaged, pull. And pull. So there's lots of stuff to think about. If you're new, you just repeat all this basic stuff until you feel comfortable, because weight training is a progressive exercise. That means it takes a minute for our mind and body to set a map of the movement, to learn it. And then it takes a minute once our body's learned it to figure out the safe range of motion. And then your body actually starts to adapt to try and get stronger. And once it starts to try and adapt to get stronger, then we move up in a difficulty or in weight. And last 2, and last 1. And release. Come back to stand. Okay, let's just stretch out our shoulder, bring the arm across you. Kind of stretching out the shoulder, letting the shoulder blade come apart so that you're stretching a bit of the back. And then just swing your arms. This swinging of the arms is something I love to do. It releases tension in the upper back and the neck, the traps. So anytime you're feeling like, that felt tight, just swing out your arms. Let's do the other side. All right. So we did a chest, a back, a shoulder, and 2 different exercises for legs and glutes. When we did our chest press, we also were using the back of our arm, our tricep, so that's why it's a compound exercise. When we did our row, we were also using our bicep. So we have done basically the full body workout, as simple as it gets. If you feel like you want to repeat this a few times just to get your technique, then just keep on repeating it until you feel comfortable and you can move to more challenging classes. All right, so we're going to cool down, we're going to stretch. So we're getting back down on the mat. This is that place that you could use your loop, or if you wanted, you could use a strap. So up to you if you take stretch classes. So coming down onto the mat. And you can use your strap or your loop, or you don't have to use anything. I'm going to use the strap, the loop. You're going to place it around your right foot. You're going to bend your right knee, or sorry, your left knee. And we're going to do a hamstring stretch here. So you're going to kind of walk your bum back so you're at the front of your sits bones. Or just stretch out our leg. So holding onto the strap or the loop, or just holding onto your leg. Take a breath in, and then we're just kind of hinging at our hip and just folding as far as comfortable. Maybe working on kind of pushing your knee a little straighter to get the sensation. Hamstrings are always challenging. There's a lot of sensation in a hamstring stretch, so take a few big breaths. One of the ways we can make tight muscles looser is really focusing on steady breathing. We don't want to hold our breath because that'll make everything tighter. So take another big breath in. If you can reach a little further, go ahead. You can even take this opportunity to drop your head here and take a big stretch across the back. I teach yoga, so one of the things we always work on is big breath. You take a huge breath here, stretching across the back of your rib cage. And then release. You can sit yourself up and switch legs. Doing a big hamstring stretch. Again, sit forward on your sits bones. Grab hold of your strap if you're using one. Take a big breath and then just fold forward. Do your best to fold it the hip as opposed to the middle of your back, way back here. Hinge at your hip first, and then you can let your head hang. You can even shake your head a little. You can relax all the muscles in your face. Take a big breath across your back. Maybe work on straightening your knee a little bit more. Hamstrings are often very tight because they're at the very tightest or shortest position when we're sitting. So those of us that have to sit a lot tend to have a lot of tighter hamstrings. Come back up, you can release that strap. We're going to do a little twist here. So you're going to bend your knee, place the foot beside your inner thigh, wrap your arm around, and most of us have done twists in our life in group fitness classes or yoga. What I want to say to you that's slightly different is instead of just focusing on turning your head, we're really going to try and rotate through the spine, all right? So bring your hand behind you to help you sit up. Take a breath in. And then instead of rotating with your nose first, let's rotate the rib cage first. You can inhale here, lengthen your spine. Exhale, rotate your rib cage. Maybe you're rotating your chest. And if for some reason you love to look back over your shoulder because it gives your neck a good stretch, you can go ahead and look back. If you don't find any value in it, just keep your chin over the middle of your chest and take one more breath and see if you can rotate your ribs a little further along to the side of your mat. And then release. I'm going to just switch so I can face away from you. So switch your legs, same thing. Hold on to your knee, wrap your arm around. Back hand is going to be like a table or a chair back. It's going to kind of force your spine upright. Inhale and rotate the ribs. We always want to make sure we're rotating with our spine long, especially those of us women over 50. We have to worry about bone density in our spine. We don't want our bones rubbing. We want this rotation to come into the muscles between the vertebrae. We don't want to be flexed forward, rubbing our bones against each other. So one more breath in, lengthen, and rotate. Do whatever's comfortable with your head here. Sometimes I actually just like to rock my head back and forth, just to remind my neck to relax. And then come back to center. We're going to do a little neck stretch, so you can sit whatever's comfortable. If you can't sit on the floor comfortable, you can sit in a chair. We're just going to stretch our neck, and drop our right ear to our right shoulder, and then we're going to take our right hand to our shoulder or collarbone and just gently draw it down. If you've got a really tight neck, you can move your chin around a little bit, just kind of exploring where you're holding your tension. When you find it, you can take a big breath. Imagine sending your breath into that muscle to release it. And then switch sides, same thing on the other side. Whatever feels good here for you. So that was a very, very simple, basic exercise. I'm not sure how long this video is. It's probably not even 30 minutes. So you can use this video anytime you just want to get a quick little workout. You could make that workout harder by lifting heavier weight, or you're just going to use it to repeat until you feel comfortable, confident, and then we'll just continue from here. So happy to have you in the room. See you again soon.